Hello, I'm Deborah Sword.
Hi, I'm Tyson Bankert.
Tyson, we were talking about trust last time, and after the recording stopped, we kept going, and you raised some really interesting points. Do you think you could repeat those?
Yeah, of course. I was just saying how, in my experience, oftentimes trust is something, the more trust I have with someone typically means there's been more time to build, right? And so I'm more likely to try to resolve that conflict. And I think maybe most people do, right? Where they have a conflict with someone, I really trust them, I'm wanting to resolve this. Um, and I would say that the people that I maybe don't trust as much, there's not much stake. The conflict, I, you know, I don't expect anything from them. So yeah, conflict can feel really quite easy to maybe ignore
Ignore or walk away from.
or walk away from. Yeah.
So, part of this, what that brought up for me was trusting yourself. If you're in
Okay.
an intimate relationship with someone you trust, I wonder if you might have, depending on your personal attributes, whether you might be concerned about raising an issue because you don't trust yourself to do it well and you value the relationship so much that you don't want to put it at risk. So, how do you build trust for yourself to say, I know how to raise this in a non confrontational way, and so that the other person can hear it as if it's coming and accept that it's coming from my good intention to strengthen the quality of the relationship and not undermine it. How do you build trust in yourself?
It's a hard question to ask, Deborah, but I think for me, my experience when that sense of feeling I this is worth me maybe jeopardizing or having the maybe insecurity that comes from addressing conflict, especially with someone that you trust. How I find that is like this is what's really important to me, and this person doesn't know it. And so the fact that they don't know something and they should just know. It's actually an opportunity in my mind to actually build trust further and deeper because once I've maybe said, hey, to my partner or to whomever, I don't like this, or when you do this, it makes me feel this way, or when you behave this way, it makes me not trust you. The response in my that what I would at least hope to receive is I want is that the other person also will be reciprocating to say to acknowledge it and then that we can then build trust deeper. Now, the caveat to me then is or the asterisk here is now they know that if they maybe keep doing this pattern over again, that actually breaks trust even more than they did with the before they knew it. And so I think that for me is like really important. And maybe it doesn't really answer your question about how do I find that, but that for me is where my emotional and logical brain go when I'm trying to preserve the trust that I do have.
And if you raise that with the other person, um, it gets to I am putting myself out there in order to strengthen and improve the quality of the relationship. So you preface it with that frame that this is for the benefit of the relationship that I'm raising this.
That vulnerability is, as we talked about last week, is really critical, I
Yeah.
think, to doing that. And that is where I find, I think I'm so oftentimes at my best when I'm vulnerable, because I often tend to be able to better communicate.
And I want to raise one other thing about the trusting yourself, and that's the role of power in trust. If you're the more powerful party in a relationship or in a conflict, sometimes you have to work even harder to instill trust because that power is a barrier to communication. Someone might hesitate to raise an issue with you, and you will never know that there's a part of them that they're holding back.
Mm.
And likewise, if you perceive the other person in the relationship as being more powerful, you have to work harder to communicate to get through that power structure where the person can just say, I don't want to talk about it. But if it's important to you, it needs to be talked about. So that goes back to trusting yourself to know that this is something I need to raise, and the relationship will be stronger and better and a higher quality if I can get through this tough part and get to the place where we can talk about it. So trust is nuanced and many faceted, but just the summary is that you build trust by being reliable over time. You ask for help, admit what you don't know, um, have the conversation, and it's not a one and done. You have to trust yourself to bring it up continually, always in the frame of, I am wanting this relationship to be strong and high quality.
I think I'm learning more about how to trust and being able to find it in other people and in others is incredibly important. Um, and that conflict um, is an opportunity to build trust. And trusting the skills that we've been talking about here is is really helpful to being able to ultimately build on those skills of trust. So I thank you, Deborah, for providing your wisdom in the area of conflict. If you're looking for more opportunities to learn from Deborah, feel free to continue to subscribe, like, and follow along to the Conflict Owners Manual.
And thank you for all your wisdom, Tyson. Thank you for listening, everyone.